Thank you for staying with us. Time now for us to get into the news review and the usual culprit on a Friday morning. My man, my brother, in everything good, although he's sometimes up to mischief. He's rocking some white pants today. Bukum Banku spoke about a white shirt. A man can never be careful unless he's decked in a white shirt. But Ojam decided to come in white trousers.
And drives a white car.
And drives a white car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is your car white?
I didn't say so. My brother.
Charlie, thanks for coming. Lovely shirts, by the way.
Thanks. I'm grateful. Yours also splendid.
Oh, yeah. How we could do them? This one is by Seraban Clothing. Seraban Kwa. I'm buying pressure for you, so...
No problem. I understand.
I think I'm at my mischievous best this morning. I'm full of mischief.
I know. We always do it behind the scenes, but if one is to bring it on, come by.
Anyway, so let's do this. My producer is whispering some things into my ear that he wants to feel the mischief, but I will not go down that road. If you're joining us this morning, time now for the news review. It's brought to us courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering, if you're a man out there, you've crossed 35, some would say 40. I advise from 35, start checking out your prostate. If you're a woman, what's your fertility status? Do you know? And that's why you ought to end up at Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They will sort you out for the screening for free, okay? And this is where you can locate them here at in Accra at Spintex, opposite the Shell signboard. In Kumasi, if that's where you are, Kronum Abwehia, behind the Angel Educational Complex. In Takrade, Anaji Estates is where you can locate them. If you come back to the Greater Accra region, Tema, they are located in Community 22. There's Techiman Hanswa and Esiamanzama. Their call lines, please give them a call today. Get yourself checked. 0244 068 0244. Let me just check that number. 867-068. Today it's playing games with me. Or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, and here we go. So I have the Daily Graphic and the Finder newspaper. What do you have this morning?
I have the Daily Guide, the Ghanaian Times, and the Daily Statesman.
Okay, so you know how we do it. Before we get into the papers, I always want to find out. What's been your most topical issue this week? One or two? And what are your thoughts on these?
I think first would be the dialysis situation that is at the heart of our conversation in the country here. We had to push with our news reportage, ensure that we follow up on all those who matter to ensure that this issue is resolved. Now, the good news is that we heard from the health minister, which has also been captured by the papers here, that 4 million Ghana cedis has been approved to clear the Kolibu debt, dialysis debt, and we hope that that situation is resolved. Until you are met with such a situation, you would not understand the point here.
Until you are there.
Yeah, the fees for dialysis. People are now rationing their dialysis session. So when we are talking, you think that this is a disease for the rich. I'm so sad.
And now on the back of Galamsey and everything, it's become a disease for everybody.
In Erastus's documentary, we have seen that we are all now exposed to kidney diseases because of the Galamsey, the fish you eat, all the natural stuff that you eat, they are polluted to an extent. Now, if you go to some regions, I can speak about the northern, for instance. I understand Upper West has two, Upper East region had none. Until recently, there was an advocacy to get some. And we had private individuals coming in to help, and they are now installing a dialysis center at the Bogatanga hospital. So you have a population of over 1 million having a single dialysis machine to deal with kidney situation, and we are getting reports that the situation is escalating day by day. People are not able to afford it. People move all the way from Wale, from Boga to Tamale for dialysis session. Others move from Wa, if it is choked, Northeast, Savannah, to all those areas. So you can imagine the pressure and the reason we have to be deliberate about the situation. I don't know whether our people who are at the front of policy making have not had this clairvoyance that in future we have these challenges. So let us put the situation in order before we get to a dire situation whereby we all have to be running helter-skelter as a country. It is not only the aged. There was a report by my colleague Maxwell Agwagba A 16-year-old boy is also having kidney problems. As young as we are, we can also have. It doesn't matter the age bracket. So this is something that all of us must have interest in. You must not leave it to the media alone, the civil society organizations, the religious bodies. Let's come together, put pressure for the right thing to be done. I know some of the big men, they may have these machines at home, so they don't care. Some may not care. Yeah. Because some of them
some can even they can even afford to have it at home.
Some of the big men, they have it in this country, they have it at home.
Yeah.
I know some, but I wouldn't mention it.
So whatever happens at Konebu or the Fiankwanta hospital, they don't.
So if you and I don't come out, then we'll fight together for it. Then the future of our children and the immediate future is seriously at threat. And I think there's a good move. We've heard from Parliament, and they are raising the 4 million Ghana cedis to clear the debt at the Konebu Teaching Hospital.
In the coming months and years, we're going to see many, many, many diseases that are not commonplace here. Because when you're exposed to mercury, arsenic, cyanide, chromium, and all of these other heavy metals that are meant to be hidden deep within the earth, God in his infinite wisdom placed them there for a certain reason. By digging, we're exposing them to the higher part of our environment, exposing ourselves to them, and now they are, we're getting hurt by those toxins. And just because of a few people's greed. There's this quote about satisfying the need of the masses versus a few people's greed. And that is galamsey. That is it. I mean, no matter how you want to look at it, from the bottom to the top, to the politicians in there doing this, it is because of a few people's greed. And the rest of us will bleed because of them. Because of them.
It's so sad. It's so sad. But we hope that we'll get there someday. Let's continue to push. The last time I attended a TUC engagement with John Dramani Mahama, they gave their manifesto, what they call the Workers' Manifesto. And some of these issues were, raised that, look, this is our manifesto from the Trades Union Congress. We want you, the political parties, to feature them in your manifesto. So when you come into office, we would hold you accountable.
And that is a very strong group. Their numbers are huge.
Exactly. So let's continue the movement. The movement should be stronger for us to push forward our demands. And then those that will put at the helm of affairs will work on it for us. If not, we'll talk, the media will talk, nothing will come up. I think the next big story has to do with the fact that over the weekend, last weekend, we had the MPP-elect is a flag bearer. Amidst all the troubles, it was successful. I was on the grounds from the MPP headquarters. Later I was at the Vice President's campaign office, and then proceeded and ended at the Accra Sports Stadium, where they held a final handing over. The President Akufo-Addo said that the 2024 election is not going to be an easy one. They should all go out and campaign. And the battle lines have now been set, and I think that getting into the 2024 election, we know what we want as Ghanaians. The presumptive candidate for the movement that is being led by Alan Chamante, he's already on standby as a third force. We have John Mahama elected by the NDC. Bawumia is here. So we are now looking at what their message will be. It is now that we should be hearing from them the messages that they want, or the policies that they want to implement if they are given the opportunity to lead the country. And we must all be keen. Let's record all the information or the promises that they will give us, so that if any of them is given the mandate, then we can hold them accountable for the promises that they have made to Ghanaians. So for me, these were the big stories from Saturday till today. But the outstanding one has to do with the health issue, because your health is your wealth.
There's something interesting, though, that comes to mind. You know, when you read our Constitution, the bit about contesting in an election, I don't know, but it talks about a political party and all of that. Do you know where I'm a bit curious?
Yeah.
You know, Alan says his is not a political party, it's a movement. I'm wondering whether, per the Constitution and what it stipulates, his movement will qualify to, be there to contest the election. If you're an independent political party or an independent candidate, there are things that go with it. But this whole bit about a movement, I don't know. I'm not too, but we'll see how.
So movement is an because alliance. It's an alliance of people from the various political parties coming together to push a particular agenda.
Can you have a movement, so to speak, on the ballot in terms of without a political party structure? Because even the independent candidates also have to have party offices and districts this and district that. Can you ride on a movement to contest, or do you still need all these requirements that a political party? I think those are the dynamics.
It's something that we need to explore in the subsequent discussions. But I mean, it falls within the remits of politics. So far, it is politics. A movement, whether a political party or it all fits into the definition of politics. And so far as you are fighting for the governance of the country, whether movement or a political party, they are all in the same the same category. So, but I think it is something worth exploring.
But you know why I bring it up?
Clarity,
Because every time before elections, you have candidates that are disqualified by the Electoral Commission. And so if Alan wants to make his mark, I think that's something he has to get clarity on.
So maybe if he says it is a movement, the requirement of getting district offices across the country may be exempt. Maybe that's the angle.
And that's the clarity you don't want to, because if at the last minute the EC tells you, you can't, we've seen it in this country before, you can't contest, then it becomes a big issue. Any other stories?
All right, so we can just zoom into the newspapers, Daily Guide. The big story here is Bawumia storms Ken's house, his main contender in the just ended Congress. He went to pay him a surprise visit after winning the election. I don't know whether you saw the expression, the body communication from Kennedy Agyapong when the results were announced by the EC at the Ohenijan Sports Stadium. You could realize that.
What did you see?
I saw him biting his lips. His finger was also on his, around the lip region. And I don't know how he was feeling at that moment. We could realize that his body communication, he wasn't comfortable. He was anticipating that at least I should have been the one being declared. But he has been speaking after the Congress. He says that he's not going to support any MP because what the MPs
he's not going to...
No, he's not going to support any MP.
Okay.
Any MP who has an intention to contest the election should not come to him for any support because what they have done to him, he has not forgotten.
Oh, wow. But didn't he learn from Sir John? Fear delegates.
So he now fears MPs. That is his.
So now it is fear MPs.
So as part of rallying support from all those who matter in the party ahead of the 2024 elections, the vice president, after being elected as the flag bearer, is moving from one person to the other to at least try and seal the differences. He was at the MPP headquarters. He has also paid a courtesy call on the former president, John Ejekumpufo, and then he will subsequently visit Dr. Fia Akoto and all the people who matter. Because, now he's looking for his running mates. There's pressure. I know there are other stories that are captured, but where we can do that analysis as well. Where should the running mate come from? Should they be from Ashanti? Should they be from the Central? Should we just go
We've seen about 7 people's names come up.
7 people, the names that have come up, Charlie. Some way maybe. Ghana, Czech Republic strike new chord. Questioning fire about political agenda. According to witness, we have 4 million Ghana cedis approved to clear the Kolbu Teaching Hospital dialysis there. So I think we have already dealt with some of these stories that I've just mentioned to you. But a back page of the Daily Guide, Stars coach faces a sack. Black Stars coach Chris Hughton faces the sack ahead of Ghana's 2026 World Cup qualification or qualifiers against Madagascar and Comoros next week. So if he fails to qualify to win this game, meaning his job will be
on the line.
So.
But some have said that there seems to be some plan to do that. Is it from the GFA to sack him or something of the sort? And that the administration, government has a bit of a say, though you cannot interfere in football. Once the funding and all of that, they have a bit of a way of going about it. And I hear a name that has come up is George Boateng also, and people are saying he's going to be a disaster because he has no track record, he has no credibility, so to speak. I'm just re-echoing what some people have said. It is not to take away from him because sometimes you pick that person you think cannot and that person rather. Exactly. Look at Zidane when he started his coaching.
So the question I'm asking is that Kwesi Appiah, the performance...
He's now in Sudan.
So if you want to look at the analysis, the performance of Kwesi Appiah and this particular current coach or the subsequent coaches that came to him, what would you say that they have done better than Kwesi Appiah?
Okay, so Kwesi Appiah in his, was it second coming? Then there was Otto Addo, who got us to the World Cup.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course, we crashed out at the initial stages, but at least we beat South Korea by 3-2.
Yeah.
We went to the World Cup. Then he left, he resigned. And then we opted for his, I think Chris Hughton was his technical
advisor. Yeah.
And this is how it's gone. So I don't know. Some are also saying maybe it's time to go back to, the foreign coaches. I don't know.
Do you think that we should go for?
I don't know.
You don't think our own can do it?
Do you know what I think? I think we need delivery, and that's all. It doesn't matter. Look at the Black Queens.
Yeah.
Is it Have you seen the lady? I think she's from Sweden or Australia or one of those places.
I've not.
They've gone, is it 11, 12 matches unbeaten? That's what I'm talking about.
I see.
That's someone who
but
can put the players in line.
Meanwhile, we are not putting any attention on them at all.
And that is my problem.
Yeah.
That's what I always get to. I've said it here, time without number, that these football players, the men, they are not delivering. The women are, and we are not motivating them. Over time, it may start affecting their morale. They may, look at, is it this team that recently beats the Moroccan team at the club championship? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Last year, Hazake's ladies and all of that. We're not investing in female soccer. Look at the US. And in the US, there's some parity. What the male team gets is what the female team gets.
Yeah.
So if you perform, you're on the same level. Look at us.
Yeah. That's a sad situation there. Would you go for the daily graphic, or I should?
Let me quickly do that. 2 power packs to generate 750 megawatts. That's according to the energy minister. Scammed, waiting in pain and in vain. That story's on page 13. WIAC releases BEC results. Over 22,000 candidate scripts under scrutiny. And Justice Ankama did no wrong. That's according to the Judicial Council. On the back page, Finance Ministry to settle 4 million Ghana Cedi Kolebu renal unit debt. So let me get into some of those stories. But then on page 17 as well, politics, selection of running mates. Mahama Bawumia must look south. That's according to Professor Alidu.
Yeah. So,
Seidu.
So the one who worked the magic, it is historic that we have, tribe plays a critical role in politics. 2 leaders leading 2 major political parties from the northern part of the country.
Right. Unprecedented.
Yeah. So what has happened is that for the past years, it's like the NDC has not paid much attention to the north. The MPP, which holds the view that they don't have much support, has invested much time there. It appears they are getting more of the support from the north. And now that Bawumia has been elected,
it likely means they will get even more support from the northern belt.
So that's where the contest is going to be it's going to be keen to watch, because now who would break or lose for any of the political parties will have to be the choice of the running mate. Some are of the view that now that Ken has performed well in the just ended Congress, why don't you just go with him? Others are also rooting strongly that, look, Ashanti region is the World Bank or the Electoral World Bank of the MPP. So far as elections are concerned in Ghana. So why don't you go for one? And that's why some of the names came in just the recent newspapers, you saw names like Osei Mensah Bonsu, Edichum, the education minister, and then some are just saying that the running mate should come from the Ashanti region to get the full backing of the Ashantis. If not, they may tilt towards Alan's movement. So it is now a mind game.
Now we saw those young people, all those people who recently masked up.
Exactly.
Purportedly lending their support to Alan Chabating.
So it is a break or lose for Bawumia to take a candidate from the Ashanti region or any part of the country. Mahama too.
Or the central region.
Yeah, the pressure too is on Mahama to pick from Ashanti region. This time around, we are not likely to see someone from central region partnering Mahama. The pressure now is on the Ashanti region.
Which crystal ball did you look into?
That's a grapevine information.
Because all indications, most indications point to the fact that Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman might come on board again, and we all know where she's from.
Yeah, in the country, we have other grapevine information coming in that, look, now that the MPP has elected a Northerner, we must also be strategic. Getting a leader or a running mate that can help us sweep most of the regions to win the 2024 election. So it's going to be critical. This is a crucial moment. We know meetings have been held upon meetings. They think that we may think that it's too early, but they have already started the consultation. You've seen Parliament MPs jostling for the flag bearer.
But you look at some of them though, and it's laughable. I'm sorry. You look at some of them, because some of them, if you even look at their their lack of decorum, their lack of sophistication, even in
they're not tolerant. Some of them are not
emotional intelligence and speaking to people, you ask yourself, are these the people we really want to be anywhere close to leadership? And if not for politics, whether they would have sniffed anything close to the positions they occupy.
Yeah, as a leader, you must have that stomach to room all manner of, let me say, nonsense. Some of them don't have that patience. They don't have that political intelligence.
Some of them are arrogant.
Exactly. Some of them, you interview them, you ask them questions, and their demeanor alone.
There was one of these people in the fray who, some time back, met one of the hosts here. Someone who has been on the AM show.
Okay.
And I just don't want to mention the person's name. Right here. And the person was approaching. Hey, you... kind of...
They take things personally.
What kind of rustic, caveman-ish behavior is that? Someone like that, it's despicable.
There's currently tension, political tension. So you need someone who can calm the nerves of Ghanaians because they're agitated. They are looking at how the economy can be better going forward. And someone who has that appealing character, someone when he speaks, at least it reduces the tension. The person speaks to the conscience of the people, appeals to pity. Not someone who is so rude, someone who is intolerant, someone who thinks he knows it all, and then we don't want to listen to anyone at all because he thinks I've gotten to where I've gotten because of my profession or my intelligence or the resources that I have.
Anyway, let's get into some other stories. There's also the Scorpion Man of Funsi. Before I get into them all, I just want to look at this. It's on page 21. Interesting story.
Yeah.
So it may be unusual for humans to associate with or keep scorpions as pets because they are venomous creatures. In fact, scorpions have long been feared for being dangerous creatures as their venom is so deadly that you would need twice the anti-venom treatment to cure the pain.
Yeah.
However, Nuruddin Afabe, a 40-year-old herbalist at Funsi in the Wa West district in the Upper West region, is sending tongues wagging in the area. Mr. Afabe, popularly known as Trouble, that's his name, has gained popularity in the Sisala enclave for the potency of his herbal medicine in treating scorpion stings and also for keeping the arachnids as pets. Now, he carries about 30 live scorpions in his red hat.
Wow.
In his red hat. Ostensibly to demonstrate the potency of the herbal concoction for the treatment of scorpion bites. Wrapping them in a red hat and wearing it, he carries them around, particularly at social gatherings such as weddings and festivals, to market his products. In demonstrating his prowess, the herbalist often places his fingers on the tails of the scorpions without being stung by them.
Wow, that's interesting. And that story was written by my good brother, Mohammed Fogo. The Daily Graphic.
This is amazing.
I saw it on social media fed by one Fatah Wayamga. I mean, he has been an advocate of tourism in the Upper West region. I saw it on his social media. So I was really surprised that someone is keeping, these creatures as
live scorpions.
Yeah.
And these are the black type. I see most of them are the black scorpion, and then...
If you have never had an experience with a scorpion before, you may not understand what
I say back in school, Bishop Herman.
Yeah.
In the boarding house, there was this day, it was just God. Because I was sitting on this little raised, I think there was water underneath that point, around, house 6 and another one. And I just felt something, so I moved my legs. Apparently, a scorpion had come to, the way it would have stung me. And back then, the school farm and everything, you would see all kinds of snakes, scorpions. It was... that day because the pain you would feel.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
It is what it is. There's also the story, we'll just go back to it. All of us, reminder, protect your kidneys. A consultant physician and kidney specialist at the Department of Kolibu, of the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Winfred Barr, has advised people to protect their kidneys and not do things that will harm them. He mentioned some of the harmful practices to include recurrent kidney infections, also called pyelonephritis, smoking, drinking alcohol, not drinking enough water daily, and obesity.
Yeah.
Other causes are family history of kidney disease. You have to watch yourself if there is that. Abnormal kidney structure and old age. He also mentioned the top 3 causes or risk factors of chronic kidney disease in the country to be diabetes, high blood pressure, and inflammation of the kidneys filtering units. Glomeruli, I think, known as, you might need to hear me on this one, glomerulonephritis. One thing I've realized in medicine, anything itis is not good. Once itis is at the end, you might want to.
So it doesn't matter your age. You should protect your kidneys.
No. Some people. I mean, you get exposed even more when you are aged. Age is also, old age is a factor. Yeah. Of course, let's say you are old and you have diabetes or hypertension or both, there's even more of an exposure. But if you're not watching your diet, you can be 20. Yeah. Like he mentioned, 16. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And as a young man, those young men taking aphrodisiac and all that, you have to stop because it puts more pressure on your kidney. I have seen so many advertisements on social media, luring the young men, and they are excited to take some of these concoctions. So you have to be very careful. And then protect your kidney before it is too late.
All right.
It is timely. The advice comes at the time that we all need it.
Let me just blaze through these stories very quickly. Monetization of politics, threat to democracy. That's the NCCE boss, my own good friend, Kathleen Addy. Kathleen, if you're watching this morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning. I just saw a post of hers actually on social media. Hello, fam. So, hello right back at you, Kathleen. But then scammed, waiting in pain and in vain. This story re-echoes something I went through recently. I don't want to mention the name of the outfit. I ordered some noodles, okay? On a day when I hadn't eaten, very hungry, I was praying at church, and I wanted, by the time I got there, to have the meal ready. Okay. There was just something off about the conversation and sending Momo, like a Momo payment in advance. But I felt, because they explained that if you paid now, then... I was even getting an extra one. Yeah. I go to the place and realize, though it was a small sum, it was 50-something cedis. I realized...
You were scammed.
I had been scammed. It's the same story the person is sharing. So, a child's birthday, they order pizza and a whole lot of stuff, only to get to the outlet and realize that, and here's where the problem lies. There are people creating clone accounts on social media. So, if you Google it, let's say you Google this eatery, they pop up first. Then you'll think that is the official number. You call, you place your order, they tell you to send Momo. By the time you realize, you get to the place, and there's nothing. It happened to another person who spent over 1,000 cedis recently. Birthday, office, over 1,000 cedis worth of pizza. They got there and realized you had sent your money to someone else.
I'm someone who supports going digital. However, I'm very skeptical when I'm buying things online. I'm not that type of person that will buy other stuff, bring it. Without me, I want to inspect what I expect. So that should be the guiding principle. If you want something, inspect it. Whatever you're expecting, you have to inspect. If you not get it. I mean, some people are doing genuine business on the social media, the digital platform, but some are there to scam. So you have to just be very, very careful in all that you do. Be it food that you are buying, be very careful where it is coming from, and then be sure that you are dealing with the right person.
Yeah, G7 calls for humanitarian pauses in Gaza. I've been talking about that. Yeah. 2 power packs to generate 750 megawatts energy. Minister says so. So the government has signed 2 new power purchase agreements to shore up the country's power generation by 720 megawatts. I thought we were told we had excess power. Now, what they happen?
That we have see what's excess power we are not using.
The specialists have been telling us that, in fact, we'll need more power agreements to sort it out. And this confirms that.
This is the ambiguity here. I don't know if I'm not understanding it, but the minister was saying that we were having excess power that we're not using and paying for. Now, what has happened? Is it the case that if these 2 new packs that you are signing, it will not give us extra power? I'm not going to pay for it. Why didn't we stay to the old plan where we have the excess power whilst paying for it, other than going to sign in for new ones? This is just a rational question I'm asking. Because if you say that we have excess power that you are trying to get out of that plan, and you are signing in new plans, like what is the rationale behind that? Yeah. But at the moment, he also revealed that we have a challenge with our gas supply. Yeah. We have gas from the west.
So the WAPCO thing, was it ever sorted out? Because we had ECG come and say, I think it was it 20 million?
Yeah, so there was an agreement.
Dollars or so, and we had paid about 12 and there was 8 million, something like that.
Yeah, so there was an agreement on the payment plan. Entirely, it has not been cleared, but
you know why I put that in? Because there was a certain week, many weeks ago, and the ECG boss, Samuel Dubik Mahama, said by the close of that week, they would have defrayed the entirety of the debt and everything would be done. So I'm asking myself, what happened?
So right now, we are now at the beck and call of the WAPCO. As and when they want to put our light or just cut gas supply, they will do it. And you and I will not have light. The reason is that they now regulate the gas flow from the west. So if you owe them and you don't pay in time, they will cut gas supply. And most of our plants are now heavily reliant on the gas plants to power or generate electricity. So that's the situation we have.
You know the song that comes to mind? Did you ever listen to Lord Kenya back then?
Lord Kenya, which song is it? Yeah, I used to. I'm born
again. Oh,
yeah, I know that song. I do.
For credit, let's check out any other papers
All right,
before I do the finder.
Fine. I have the Daily Statesman, Czech Republic PM confess with Bawumia. We have government, the power story is here. And the dialysis renal unit story is also here. Then the Ghanaian Times, the race for Jubilee House, JM, Veep, Alan spoiled voters with choice. Minor jailed 15 years for robbing man of mobile phone. And then we have the story about the Kolubu debts on the kidney issue. And then the power purchase agreement that government has says it has signed. So these are the stories making headlines on the papers that I have here.
All right, so let's look at the Finder newspaper today. And of course, ECG's monthly revenue jumps from 480 million Ghana cedis to 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. That's according to Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, the energy minister. Premium Motors unveils fuel-efficient Renault Talion. That's the vehicle there. Sam George stoking religious intolerance with divisive attacks on Dr. Bawumia. That's according to Nana Komia. 2023 BEC results released 22,270 scripts under scrutiny. That's according to WAEC. What else do you expect? We are making our children more of a chew, pour, pass, forget generation rather than people who can think. So, creeping culture of anti-democracy developments, stifling free expression. That's according to Professor Kakari. But this story about the ECG raking in more revenue, it reminds me of the tourism minister, Dr. Awal Mohammed, saying in recent times that we had moved from getting 3,000 Ghana cedis
to 1 million.
By the way, I paid a bit. You know, the first time I went there, it was to make a booking for us to go.
Yeah.
This time, I actually spent time there with a friend over one of these weekends. It was in the evening, though.
All right.
And yes, we paid, 50 CDs each and all of that.
As entry fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, it's different for foreigners. But I'm asking myself, are they really making the 1.1 million he is saying? And what is the breakdown? I think he's my good friend. I think it is a breakdown that
we have to interrogate further on that. Yeah, very, very important.
This bit about Sam George, and then maybe Prof. Kakari, then we can wrap up from here. In a recent turn of events, Nana Komia, the communications director of Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's campaign, has strongly condemned NDC Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam Jata George, for his divisive comments regarding Dr. Bawumia's religious affiliation. Sam George accused the Vice President of being, quote, a religious prostitute, alleging that Dr. Bawumia had embraced Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior without providing any evidence. The MP also criticized Dr. Bawumia for his perceived silence on issues related to hijabs, fasting, and police killings of Muslim youth in Kumasi. What do you think about that? The Vice President has been also trying to play the game of, I've been, in the Christian fold before and all of that. But what's your take?
Sam George is a fine man. He's a friend. I think he's
an elder of the Perez Chapel.
He's a good man. He's a friend. I just think that he should apologize and we'll move on. Some of these comments are unnecessary.
Inflammatory.
Yeah. We have been living in a heterogeneous society. It doesn't matter the religion you belong to. It doesn't matter the tribe you are from. We are all one people. We are all we are all Ghanaians. And for the purpose of peace and harmony, continuous coexistence in the country, Honorable George, you might not have said it well. One can ye. So I beg, you just go back and say, man can ye. I'm sorry. I should have said it better. He
should sound like Nana Akufo-Addo in Ododo.
Yeah, I never said so.
When he said, Nilante Bandapwe, Debbie man can ye cry. When he should have said Nilante Bandaman.
Yeah.
And Nilante Bandaman ended up losing to Nilante Bandaman, my former classmate. Anyway, so I think I'll skip the Prof. Kakari story. You can grab the copy of the Finder newspaper to get it. Creeping culture of anti-democracy developments, stifling free expression. Before we wrap, happy birthday in advance to Dorcas Elikplim Tabitha Amewonu. Tomorrow is your birthday. You are November's own, 11/11. We wish you God's blessings in everything you do. Enjoy your day. You're a fantastic person. Dorcas, enjoy yourself. There's Daniel Coleman who says, watching the show live from Ahafo Kenyase number 2, Jericho. Greetings to Honorable Patrick Bano, Member of Parliament for Esutifi North. And Koja Sempa says, good morning once again to your listeners from Koja Sempa. Okay, all right. There's this thing I wanted to run by you.
Okay.
The Guinness World Records. There's a story I'm looking at. Teen bodybuilder performs record number of one-armed pull-ups. So you see the bar, one arm pulling up. He did 25 in 1 minute. He's 18 years old. You know, at that level, you have a lot of youthful energy. And he beats the previous tally of 24 set earlier this year by Li Zechuan in China. How many can you do?
I can't.
You can't? Not even two-armed?
Not even. The last time I went to a gym, I don't know why the gym instructor didn't like me. He nearly broke my waist. So since then, I never went to the gym again. So I would never try it. Maybe press up 2, I'm okay.
2 press-ups?
Yeah, I can do that.
There's something about...
I don't want to stress myself.
I think they say at a certain age, if you're not able to do at least 20 or is it 40 push-ups, then you should check your health. So I think we should give you a boot camp.
Maybe I should be able to do it, but I just don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't.
So how do you stay fit? Because you look pretty, you know, or is it your metabolism that is deceiving us?
It's natural.
It's natural, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to alterate the body God has given me. So this is what God has given me. I just want to keep it, and that's why I'm still in shape.
We'll have to have this discussion further moving on.
Before we go, you know, when I went to Bolga to cover the final rally of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, my auntie brought me some correct TZ as a...
TZ?
Yeah, TZ.
I missed that.
Auntie Janet, thank you very much. I'm grateful. God bless you for that. Next time I go to Bolga, I'll go with you so that we can have...
Wait, TZ, by the way, you never tell me.
Oh, yeah, but I told you. Immediately.
You told whom?
Immediately after the AM show, which I reported live from the Bolga Jubilee Park, that's when I went back to the hotel room. Yeah.
Hey, me do.
So Auntie Janet of BOQ in Bolga, I'm very grateful. God bless you.
We are grateful, though we didn't get some. We are all grateful to you. Right before we get into sports, don't you forget, I'll be sharing my blunt thoughts with you today. I'll talk about the renal issue at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, our economy, missing the IMF deadlines or stipulations and all of that. So look forward to it. But this segment is always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering you free prostate screening if you're a man, free female fertility screening if you're a woman, of course. And here's where you can locate them. Here in Accra, at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Kronoma Boy here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takra De Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswe the Siama and Zama. Their call lines 0244 860 867-068 or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Sports up next, of course, today. You know how it's going to be. Prime Take with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Stay for that.